Father Theodore Martin Hesburgh of the Congregation of Holy Cross, came to Notre Dame as a newly minted Ph.D. in 1945 and went on to serve as Notre Dame's president for more than 3 decades, transforming the university academically with one of the longest and most distinguished tenures in American higher education. His 150 honorary degrees speak to the impact he had on the fields of education and religion. His presence on the national scene began with President Dwight Eisenhower. Word spread about this young, bright priest, and over a span of a half-century, Hesburgh served on some 150 advisory bodies, 16 of them at the behest of a sitting U.S. president. He gave priority to issues that had moral overtones: civil and human rights, third and fourth world development, immigration and refugees, nuclear proliferation. At one point, a Washington Post columnist observed, "For a few perilous moments last month, the federal government was left dangling without the services of the Reverend Theodore M. Hesburgh." In recognition of his contributions to the Commonwealth, President Lyndon Johnson gave him the nation's highest civilian honor, the Medal of Freedom.
His reputation as one who stood for and worked for world peace goes far beyond any political boundaries, far beyond the boundaries of the United States of America.
Hesburgh often invited occupants of the White House to Notre Dame.
He honored me in my first year in the White House by inviting me to Notre Dame when human rights was becoming the foundation of our foreign policy. And it's a kind of contribution that he's made to many other leaders.
One president came more than once, possibly because he thought he once played football there. Hesburgh's crowning achievement in public service was as a member of the Civil Rights Commission from 1957 to 1972. His tenure included the historic 1960 civil rights legislation that broke the back of segregation in America. When the mayor and Archbishop of Chicago turned down invitations to a Martin Luther King rally in their city, Hesburgh drove up from South Bend to link arms with the civil rights leader.
The key to the success of the civil rights movement was to keep it from being a radical leftist movement and recognize that it was truly a movement coming out of the Judeo-Christian U.S. constitutional tradition of justice. Well, nobody could represent all of those forces like Father Ted could. And he did it in such a quiet, unassuming, non-judgmental way that when he was with you, you didn't have to worry about who was against you.
There were many jobs for Hesburgh over the years, but only one identity, that of a priest. In presenting him with the Congressional Gold Medal, President Bill Clinton put it this way:
"The people who have known you over the years and admired everything you've done for civil rights and world peace and for Notre Dame would say that the most important thing about you is the collar you have worn for 57 years.
I want to conclude by thanking God that I could be born in America, thanking God that I could live during these years and be inspired by so many wonderful people, including many of you out there. To live in a country where you can honestly work for justice and people give you cheers. In a country where you can dream and where you can see it grow in beauty and goodness.